sufficient. You there, Sean? What's up? Running really late. Yep, I am now going into my opening video, so.
Often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show under the world of outlaws.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome tonight to the Dre Broadcasting Network as we go side by side with the Roaring Thunder Racing League. Tonight, the Roaring Thunder brings you the Roaring Thunder Racing Indy Kentucky 150. That's the Indy Kentucky 150, round number 11, here at Kentucky Super Speedway. I'm your commentator, Sean Zulu, and joining me up in the booth is David Everly. How are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. How you doing, Sean?
Doing good too, thank you. Well, here tonight at Kentucky, not Super Speedway, but Kentucky Speedway, excuse me. We do have quite the treat coming to us tonight. The drivers have 100 laps to complete. That is 100, 75% fuel limit, 78-degree Fahrenheit track temperature with air temperature of at the same time 78 degrees Fahrenheit with winds from the north at 2 miles per hour. And just a recap from the last race we had last week at Iowa. In that race, we had Robert Barras bring it home for his 9th win of the season. Simon Thorns came out 2nd. Ronald Vincent came out 3rd. Mark McFadden came out 4th. Jeff Dodson came out 5th. John Estates came out 6th. Charles Smith came out 7th. Stephen Leffler 8th. Paul Cohen 9th. Jeremy Horn 10th. And Jim Whaley Jr. did round up all the drivers in 11, running up the field of 11 drivers. And moving on to our current point standings here, the leader in points is Robert Barras once again, having 9 wins this season, only lost 1 race to Keaton Bummersbach, who as well we have missed for a couple of races now. Charles Smith 2nd in points, Jeremy Horn 3rd in points, Mark Kochik 4th in points, Jim Whaley Jr. 5th, Mark McFadden 6th, Jeff Dodson 7th, Stephen Leffler 8th, Keaton Bummersbach 9th, Ronald Vincent 10th, Paul Cohen 11th, we have Noah Lewis 12th, Simon Thorns 13th, Shane Gross 14th, Art Peck 15th, Corey Silva 16th, John Morgan 17th, Caleb Thompson 18th, Evan Black 19th, and Rick Mason rounding up the top 20 in the points. And further down this list, we have Seth Schultz, Justin Anderson, John Estates, Kyle Nadeau, Jason Allison, and Glenn Bowen rounding up the whole entire field here. All the drivers here so far this season who've raced this season at least once, 24 drivers. And here tonight, this is John Estate's 2nd race. I believe I did see him here. Oh, actually, I scratched that. I did not see John. He's not here tonight, unfortunately. But we have Kyle Nadeau. Kyle Nadeau, this is his 2nd race here at Kentucky Speedway. And looking there in the chat, we have Christopher Potter. Christopher Potter, it's been a while. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. And for all the viewers out there, type it up, say something, say hello. Let us know what's on your mind. And it's going to be an amazing race tonight. And absolutely, Chris, it is great to have the 98 of Noah Lewis back on the track. It seems like it's been way too long. Yeah, we've been missing a couple of drivers lately. Hope everybody's doing well, ladies and gentlemen, here in 2018. Tonight, here, January 13th. Time flies. And here tonight, like I talked about, this is round number 11 here with the Roaring Thunder Racing League, round 11 of 16. So the season is coming to an end here before too long. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here tonight, qualifying on the pole is the driver, the leader in points, and the driver with the most wins this far, Robert Barras. Jeremy Horn, second. 37 of Ronald Vincent, third. Jeff Dodson, fourth. Noah Lewis, fifth. Mark Kochik, sixth. We have Paul Cohen, seventh. Mark McFadden, eighth. Charles Smith, ninth. Jim Whaley Jr., 10th. And Kyle Nadeau in the 11th place position. And that rounds up the whole entire field of drivers starting tonight's race here tonight at Kentucky Speedway. Yeah, and Christopher, we won't be able to get any interviews before the race begins. Unfortunately, not enough time. So we're gonna shoot for during the race. And ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are interested in being a part of the action, if you would like to be one of the Roaring Thunder Racing League drivers, check them out at Roaring Thunder Racing League on iRacing or their website, americantrucker8.wixsite.com/RTRL. So once again, americantrucker8.wixsite.com/RTRL. On Tuesday nights, they run a Pro Mazda series, and on Saturday nights, they run an IndyCar series, like you see right before you. So you guys can join either of those or both of those based on your preference. But here, as we speak, being led by the pole-sitter Robert Barras, with Jeremy Horn, the defending champion, right beside him. And Robert Barras having 9 wins this season, winning almost every single race, almost all 10 races. So at this point, he will walk away with the most wins this season by the end of it. No one can beat him. I mean, no one can challenge him for that, because it is now late in this season, and the pace car dips off. The drivers always wait for the green flag. It is a rule. And we have the drivers here up front. The green flag is out, and Barras finds the gas pedal. 14 of Jeremy Horn right beside him, but falls short. That 37 of Ronald Vincent. Here's some 3 wide Ronald Vincent, and we had 98 of Noah Lewis back it down. Oh no, this almost taps the apron. He is backing it down. There on the outside, he has a 3 of Jeff Dodson, and ahead of him is a 37 of Ronald Vincent. And 98 of Noah Lewis right now on the outside of 37 of Ronald Vincent at the exact same time. But for the race lead, looks like 14 of Jeremy Horn takes over the race lead against the 75 of Robert Barras. Yes, he does. Entering turn 3 here, we have Barras on the outside line trying to make it work, trying to get the slingshot off. But as of last week at Iowa, we had the inside line, which was the preferred race groove, the place to be all race long. And tonight, it seems like that just might be the case too. And Barras still on the outside line. The outside line seems to be doing way better compared to Iowa last week. And Barras slingshot engaged off the exit of turn 4 and takes back the race lead on lap 4. But Jeremy Horn has not had enough. Back to the inside. These drivers pretty much doing the crossover moves against each other, I should say. In this case, changing up they're just pretty much bouncing back, the leapfrog, if you will. And we have 98 of Noah Lewis watching this battle from his cockpit between Horn and Barras. This time around, Barras was still able to maintain that race lead against the 14 of Jeremy Horn, who is still on the inside.
Yeah, as we are watching from the in-car cockpit view from Noah Lewis, you see this battle as he is right there ready to pounce. One of these guys make a mistake.
Yep, that's all it takes. One driver's mistake is one other driver's benefit, or other driver's benefits. Well, for the most part, you know, in cases such as when they cause a wreck, that is never a benefit for the receiving end of it. But here in this case, up front, the 2 leaders, Barras and Jeremy Horn, end up going back single file, but not for long. Jeremy Horn back on the outside, but decided to back it down to avoid causing trouble. And that benefits 98 of Noah Lewis greatly. Takes the second place spot away from Jeremy Horn, and that bumps Jeremy Horn down to 3rd place. And for the back in this pack, some single file going on. We have Jim Whaley Jr. Jim Whaley being approached by the that's going to be the 13 of Charles Smith. Charles Smith here has been a heavy contender all season long this far. He gets run 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. and now his next victim being the 3 of Jeff Dodson. And Jeff Dodson to the inside, 13 of Charles Smith on the outside. He gets around him successfully, and that bumps Jeff Dodson down to 6th, and Charles Smith up to 5th place, new to the top 5. That's new to the top 5 after starting in the 9th place spot. That is Charles Smith right there, and right behind the 3 of Jeff Dodson now is the 51 of Paul Cohen. Paul Cohen has had the worst luck this season this far, and tonight just might be a turning point. He's on the inside of the 3 of Jeff Dodson. No, he taps the apron, goes sideways. All momentum, all speed lost, and that's to do it all over again. And a lot of single file going on behind 51 of Paul Cohen. This pack being led by 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. We have Kyle Nadeau, Mark McFadden, Mark Kochek here, and Mark Kochek at the tail end of this pack. The field at the same time, and these drivers tonight, ladies and gentlemen, running all the way from 24-second lap times, so 24 to 25-second lap times. So these laps are going by very, very quickly. 11 laps in here this far for 100 laps, with 90 laps left. That is 90 laps. A lot still needs to be done. We're gonna see some green flag pit stops here before the race is over, because these drivers once again have a 75% fuel limit. That is 75%. So green flag pit stops in the future. Up front, the 2 drivers still going at it. Robert Barras, Jeremy Horn, crossover move on the exit of turn 4, and Jeremy Horn on the inside of with a very, very big run, but not enough to lead lap number 13. And Barras falls back in line, crossover on the exit of turn 2. Nope, not quite. Slingshot on the outside still. Oh man, almost made some contact there. The two drivers, Barras and Jeremy Horn. No harm done, and Jeremy Horn takes the race lead back on lap 14 against Robert Barras. But these 2 drivers being shown about 7/10 of a second behind, or I should say ahead of 3rd and 4th place drivers Noah Lewis and Charles Smith. These drivers here found each other, and Charles Smith has overtaken 98 of Noah Lewis, and now Noah Lewis's next victims being the top 2 drivers, Horn and Barras, and 98 of Lewis here on the outside line is being challenged by the 37 of Ronald Vincent. I meant to say that Charles Smith, the 3rd place driver, his next victims being Jeremy Horn and Robert Barras, but so far seems like Noah Lewis has been losing a lot of time every lap. But the more the 2 drivers up front battle, the more it pulls in the 3rd and 4th place drivers, Charles Smith and Noah Lewis. And for the back in this pack, some more side-by-side going on. We have the 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. Actually, this is going to be 48 of Mark McFadden. Mark McFadden on the inside. 97 of Kyle Nadeau. Slingshot past him on the outside line. And that bumps McFadden down to 9th place. Nadeau up to 8th place. And Nadeau has come a very long way. He has been moving ever since the drop of the green flag. He is hammered down, trying to make the best use of the draft. Because these things, ladies and gentlemen, draft very, very well, way too well, and with that much speed comes a lot more responsibility and a lot more risk. And here we have the 48 of Mark McFadden being challenged by the 33 of Mark Kochek. And we have in the chat Hyundai Musk. Welcome back, Hyundai. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Epic classer here for the back in this pack. 46 of Jim Whaley, 33 Mark Kochik, 97 of Kyle Nadu, including that is the 40 Mike McFadden, Jim Whaley, Kyle Nadu. They end up going back single file, but McFadden on the outside line trying to make some moves still against the 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. with both green machines very, very well dressed. But Whaley gets a bad exit off turn 2, which is going to cost him 2 spots. Well, 1 spot so far confirmed for the 8 of Mark McFadden, and now a free lunch program by 33 of Kochik. And this is attracting a lot of attention. The 3 of Jeff. Oh, Jeff Dutton taps the wall on the exit of turn 2. No harm done, it looks like. Oh man, but he will most likely feel the effects of that before too long. He is being shown in the 11th place spot. He did start in the 4th place position and he's dropped back ever since. So not sure what's going on with Jeff Dotson. He might just be trying to play it safe, play it smart, trying to be there for the very end of the race, the most important time of the race, with now only 22 laps in. Oh, but up front here, Jeremy Horn in the lead. Charles Smith moving up to 2nd place. Robert Barras down to 3rd place and about 8/10 of a second behind the leader up front, Jeremy Horn, who is under fire from 13 of Charles Smith. And we have 98 of Noah Lewis. Noah Lewis, the inside of 75 of Robert Barras. These drivers trying to break a resuming streak of the 75 of Barras. He's had 9 wins, only failed to win 1 race by the 88. Well, for the 88 of Keaton Bombers back, who unfortunately we've missed for quite a few races. We look forward to seeing the drivers we're missing back before too long. We hope they're doing well. And Christopher, we're not sure exactly how many laps these guys can go on these tanks, but from experience, about 30 to in between 30 to 40 laps is the estimation. These machines looking great under these lights here at Kentucky Speedway. And for the back in this pack, 48 of Mark McFadden to the inside of 51 of Paul Cohen. Paul Cohen in that 6th place spot. This is attracting some more drivers here. 97 of Kyle Nadu on the outside line with a Lowe's machine. Oh man, they both scraped the wall. 51 of Cohen and this 97 of Kyle Nadu. The machines pushed up. The draft is too strong. That did cause way too much speed. Could not rotate these machines, but Kyle Nadu overtook 51 of Paul Cohen, and now his next victim being the 48 of McFadden. But Paul Cohen not clear just yet. Not in the clear just yet. 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. trying to apply some pressure to him. Looks like Jim Whaley is doing well in between turns 3 and 4, but is struggling in between turns number 1 and 2, which keeps it a stalemate between him and the 51 of Paul Cohen. But 33 of Mark Kochik making his presence known in the rear view of the 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. And now Jeff Dotson being shown about 8 seconds behind the leaders and about 7/10 of a second behind his next opponent, his next victim, the 33 of Kochik. But going back up front, the top 4 drivers, that is top 4 drivers, Jeremy Horn, Charles Smith, Robert Barris, and Noah Lewis. These drivers within a second of each other, well, less than a second of each other. We have Noah Lewis only 9/10 of a second behind the 14 of Jeremy Horn, and looks like Horn is really benefiting with this long run, despite battling heavily with Robert Barris. Looks like maybe Charles Smith as well might have burnt up his stuff, trying to go from the back of the pack. I should say going from the back of the pack to the front of the pack. He did start in the 9th place spot and currently second. He has gained 7 spots this far and trying to get the most important one now. That's important one, but it's not going to be an easy job. And like we always say, ladies and gentlemen, getting to a driver is one thing, but getting around that driver is another. And pit stops now kicking in, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Barris on pit road, Mark Kochik on pit road. These drivers pitting in with 33 laps on their tires and tanks. It's only a matter of time, ladies and gentlemen, until everybody else starts to follow these drivers' lead. But up front, Jeremy Horn still staying out, Charles Smith staying out. We have Noah Lewis, Ronald Vincent, Mark McFadden, Jim Whaley, Jeff Dodson as well still on the track. Kyle Nadeau and Paul Cohen on pit road as we speak. But up front, yep, the leader pitting in and being followed. That's Jeremy Horn, Charles Smith, Noah Lewis, and Jim Whaley on pit road. And that passes the race lead over to the 37 of Ronald Vincent, second place driver Mark McFadden, and Jeff Dodson, third. But Ron Vincent backing that sucker down, going down pit road this time around. Is Mark McFadden going to follow? Yes, he is. He will as well. Jeff Dodson going down. Yes, Jeff Dodson as well. Pitting in. Oh no, Jeff comes in way too hot. He gets the pit entrance cone, spins out, and unfortunately has to get towed down to pit road. And this, ladies and gentlemen, rounds up the first round of green flag pit stops. Drivers pitting in the latest 37 laps on their tires and tanks. Ronald Vincent, Mark McFadden, including the 3 of Jeff Dodson. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our first commercial break of the evening. We'll be right back, so please stay tuned.
Don't let your first date be your last. Visit People Against Distracted Driving at PADD.org.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Roaring Thunder Indy Kentucky 150. That's the Roaring Thunder Indy Kentucky 150 with the Roaring Thunder Racing League, round number 11 here tonight at Kentucky Speedway. And ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are interested in being a part of the action, if you'd like to be one of the drivers with the Roaring Thunder, check them out at americantrucker8.wixsite.com/RTRL. I repeat, americantrucker8.wixsite.com/RTRL, or check them out at Roaring Thunder Racing League on iRacing. That's Roaring Thunder Racing League on iRacing. So you guys can join either their Tuesday night Pro Mazda series or their Saturday night IndyCar series, based on how much experience you have, or maybe even preference and time. You can even join both if you like. Once again, Roaring Thunder Racing League on iRacing. Well, for all the new viewers out there, welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network. The existing and or returning viewers, welcome back. Hope everyone is doing well tonight and having an amazing time. And going back to the race, here we are being led by 75 of Robert Barris, 98 of Noah Lewis, second, Jim Whaley Jr. third, Ronald Vincent fourth, that's Ronald Vincent fourth, and Mark McFadden in the fifth place spot. And ladies and gentlemen, looks like we had some difficulty on pit road for a lot of drivers. So a lot of difficulty on pit road, pit entrance specifically, for a lot of drivers. This has really caused quite the a shake-up in the standings so far, or I should say the results this far in the race. So going over here, the pit times for the drivers, Robert Barris, the leader up front, had the fastest pit stop, 7.7 seconds. That is 7.7 seconds. Jim Whaley in third place had 8.4 second pit stop. Ronald Vincent had 8.8 second pit stop. We had Jim Whaley 8.4 second pit stop, Mark McFadden 8.3. But everybody else, ladies and gentlemen, so only 4 drivers had less than 10 second pit stops, while everybody else had over 20 second pit stops, namely Jeremy Horn, Charles Smith, Kyle Nadiu, Mark Kochek, Jeff Dodson, including Poe Cohen. These drivers having over 20 second pit stops. That was not a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of trouble on pit road. And we have finally crossed the halfway mark, ladies and gentlemen. 49 laps left. That is 49 laps remaining. Oh, oopsie daisy. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I was talking the whole time. Oh, my mic was muted. What I was saying was, last time the drivers pitted in, the latest was 37 laps on their tires and tank. So the next round of pit stops should be, should say the latest, should be lap 74, which means only one more pit stop required, ladies and gentlemen, in order for the drivers to be able to make it the full length of the way. And the latest drivers pitted in were included Ronald Vincent, Mark McFadden, and the three of Jeff Dodson. I do apologize for that bad silence there. And I just got reminded that my mic was muted. But here so far, Robert Barras here up front, still in the lead. Noah Lewis second, Jim Whaley Jr. third, Ronald Vincent fourth, and Jeremy Horn in the fourth place spot. Yep, these drivers here tonight running some amazing paint schemes as usual. Looking at the 75 of Robert Barras' Hellman's machine, as well dressed as usual as well. Yeah, looking throughout the whole entire pack here, the whole entire field. We have the 98 of Noah Lewis with the Exalta machine running in second place, 2.3 seconds behind the leader, 75 of Robert Barras. We have Jim Whaley Jr. in the usual paint scheme. Can't quite tell what that is with my bad camera angles. Here we have Ronald Vincent in the fourth place spot and Jeremy Horn still fifth. Yep, these machines looking great here under the lights at Kentucky Speedway. And ladies and gentlemen, next race next week we'll be going back to a road course, Mid-Ohio Motorsports Park. That's Mid-Ohio. So be sure to bring your racing gear and join us then. Round number 12 next week, Mid-Ohio with the Roaring Thunder Racing League. If you could see those paint schemes, ladies and gentlemen, looking great as David Everly here was flicking through them. That's a lot of hard work by these drivers and making these machines look their best, their absolute best, week in and week out every single week. Here, and with Kyle Nadeau being the last driver on the lead lap. Mark McFadden just went a lap down. He was on the lead lap, just went a lap down. Mark Kochik being shown a lap down as well. So Mark Kochik and Mark McFadden going to be racing for position number 8. Both 1 lap down. Jeff Dodson's 2 laps down and Paul Cohen 2 laps down. So these 2 drivers as well going to be racing hard for the 10th place spot as they are 2 laps down. And now the drivers up front. Let's see. Robert Barras was the one of the first drivers to pit in. And at this point, he has 31 laps on his tires and tank. And yep, Mark McFadden going down pit road for his final pit stop of the evening.
Yeah, but taking a look, Sean, we got 36 laps to go. We've seen these cars go 37 laps, which means that pit window is open. They could pit at any time and be able to make it the remainder of the race.
Oh, indeed. Yep, it's only a matter of time before everybody else follows the lead of Mark McFadden. But so far up front, Barras deciding to go around one more time, now having 33 laps on his tires and tank. And from what Dave had talked about, so here in the next 4 laps, Barras will have to pit in, or else that thing will start sputtering. And we have Noah Lewis second place, Jim Whaley still third, Ronald Vincent fourth, and we have Jeremy Horn in the 5th place position, and Mark McFadden having a 6.7 second pit stop, way quicker than Robert Barras' first pit stop or pit time of 7.7 seconds. And one other driver going down pit road, 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. pitting in with 31 laps on his tires and tank. Yep, Jim Whaley rolling off pit road as we speak, having a 7.7 second pit stop, but up front the leader pitting in, the two drivers up front pitting in, Robert Barras and Noah Lewis, being accompanied by the 97 of Kyle Nadu. And taking over the race lead here is Ronald Vincent. Yep, Ronald Vincent takes over the race lead away from Robert Barras. And Jeremy Horn staying out one more lap as well, same as Ronald Vincent. And that's going to put Jeremy Horn up in second place behind him. So at this point, 5 drivers need to pit in, namely Ronald Vincent, that's Ronald Vincent, Jeremy Horn, we have Paul Cohen, including Jeff Dotson, and the 5th driver was Mark Kochik, but Kochik on pit road. But Ronald Vincent gave up the race leads to pit in with 35 laps on his tires and tank. And Jeremy Horn takes that race lead over, but is backing down as we speak. Going down pit road. Oh, he comes into it. He spins out, entering pit road. Oh, man, that's going to be costly. Yep, he straightens that machine back out. And on pit road, he still is. But yep, that will sting. A mistake on pit road during the first round of pit stops and the second round. So at this point, all these drivers, well, most of the drivers, hoping for a caution. And Paul Coyne on pit road as we speak. So now only one driver left to pit in, the 3 of Jeff Dotson. But up front, looks like the 75 of Robert Barras was able to take back the race lead. Yes, he was coming out of pit road 2.9 seconds ahead of second place driver Noah Lewis. These drivers had amazing pit stops. Looks like Robert Barras had a 7.3 second pit stop, while Noah Lewis beat him in pit time, which was 7.1 seconds, 2/10 of a second less than Robert Barras. So great job to the pit crew, by the pit crew of Noah Lewis. That is Christopher Potter in the chat. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with only 27 laps left, we'll take a quick commercial break here for the final stage of the race. We'll be right back, so please stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Roaring Thunder Racing League Indy Kentucky 150. That's the Indy Kentucky 150 here at round number 11 Kentucky Speedway. And we are in the closing stages of tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen. Check out the Roaring Thunder Racing League at Roaring Thunder Racing League on iRacing or their website, AmericanTrucker8.wixsite.com/RTRL. That's AmericanTrucker8.wixsite.com/RTRL. You're watching this live on the Dre Broadcasting Network, and thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Well, here going back to the race, we are still being led by 75 of Robert Barris, 98 of Noah Lewis, second, still 2.9 seconds behind him. That gap has been more consistent than from the last time we checked on him. It's been the same, basically. 46 of Jim Whaley Jr., third. Ronald Vincent, fourth. And last driver on the lead lap, being 97 of Kionadu. So only 5 drivers on the lead lap. First driver, 1 lap down, 13 of Charles Smith. We have Mark McFadden and Jeremy Horn, 6th through 8th. That's 6th through 8th. Racing against him for the 6th place spot. We have Mark Kochik, Jeff Dotson and Paul Cohen as well racing it out, all 2 laps down for that 9th place position. And ladies and gentlemen, it is go time. And absolutely, Chris, absolutely, it has been a comeback for Noah Lewis. We've missed him for a majority of the season, but it is great to have him back here tonight at Kentucky Speedway. Yep, he's now actually narrowing down the lead of Robert Barris, 2.8 seconds back, at 10th, less than last time we checked on that gap. At the same time, here for the back in this pack, the 2 drivers who are close together. 4th and 5th place drivers, Ronald Vincent and Kionadu. Kionadu has Ronald Vincent in his sights, but so far still has to work at it to catch up to him, get closer to him. And the green flag pit stops, ladies and gentlemen, did really spread out the field a lot. Only 5 drivers of 11 on the lead lap. We have Jeremy Horn getting around the 3 of Jeff Dotson. No harm done. Jeff Dotson lets him by. He stays low and lets him have that high sideline. And 14 of Horn does propel past him. And right now, his biggest goal, Jeff Dotson, that is keeping the 51 of Paul Cohen behind him. Because Paul Cohen here is the last driver in the field, the 11th place position. And actually, looks like they are separated by a lot of seconds actually apart. So Jeff Dotson here is not comfortable. At the same time, he is taking it easy, trying to stay alive. We have the 48 of Mark McFadden. Mark McFadden has a driver in his sights. It is the 98 of Noah Lewis, but no harm there. And now, ladies and gentlemen, less than 10 laps to go. 9 laps remaining here in tonight's race. 93 laps in, still being led by 75 of Robert Barris. And Barris now catching up to the last driver on the lead, lap 97 of Kionadu. It's going to be vulnerable to going a lap down. That's vulnerable. But hopefully he's able to keep that pace up and avoid going a lap down to Robert Barris. But the Lowe's machine here tonight has been one of the fastest machines, but just there for the back in the pack all race long. That's the thing about it, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of drivers like to ride in the back of the pack as a way to avoid trouble. But like here tonight, having 0 cautions, no cautions whatsoever, it always comes back to bite them. So here in tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, 16 lead changes, 0 caution laps, 0 cautions. It has been a heck of a race, and we look forward to seeing a lot of drivers have a better race next week at Mid-Ohio Motorsports Park. It's going to be a wild one.
Well, there's Kionadu, though. You got to look, he's in jeopardy of going a lap down here. As the 75 Robert Burris has actually caught him as we got 5 laps to go. So Robert Burris is out here putting these cars laps down as he is right behind the 97 of Kionadu.
And this is actually forcing and helping Kionadu push that machine to the limit. He is staying on the inside as a way to defend that spot. At the same time, trying to draft off the 51 of Paul Cohen, who is the driver up in front of him. So right now, he is just going to try and get around 51 of Paul Cohen and hopes Paul Cohen slows down Robert Barris to avoid him going a lap down. And now 4 laps remaining. So the next flag ends the race. I repeat, the next flag ends the race. And Noah Lewis is now narrowing down the lead of Barris a lot. Every single lap is now 2.6 seconds behind Barris. Last time we checked, he was 2.8 seconds, and the time before that, 2.9 seconds. So that lead is getting nothing but shorter, nothing but smaller. And he's just, right now, Lewis is just hoping that the lap's traffic slows down Barris enough for him to make a difference. But now the 2 laps to go mark. Next time around, the white flag. Yep, the white flag is out, ladies and gentlemen. Final lap of the race, final lap of the evening. Barris right now having a Sunday drive, trying to bring this thing home. Noah Lewis was about 2.4 seconds behind him, crossing the start-finish line for the white flag. And now off turn 475 of Barris is going to bring this thing home unchallenged for his 10th win of the season. Congrats once again to Robert Barris. Noah Lewis coming out second place, 2.4 seconds behind him. Jim Whaley Jr. now exiting turn 4 for 3rd place. Yep, Jim Whaley Jr. brings it home in 3rd place, rounding off the podium. Ronald Vincent in 37, still racing as we speak. Well, now crossing the start-finish line for the 4th place spot. And Kionadu was able to stay on the lead lap and come out in the 5th place position. Well, ladies and gentlemen, interviews coming up. Top 3 drivers, namely Robert Barris, Noah Lewis, and Jim Whaley Jr. So please stay tuned. Well, ladies and gentlemen, joining us up in the Dre Broadcasting booth are the top 3 drivers: Robert Barris, Noah Lewis, and Jim Whaley Jr. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see any smoke show here tonight. Gonna start with tonight's 3rd place, finish at 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. Good up there, buddy.
Yes, I do.
How you doing tonight?
Surprisingly okay.
Oh man, it was a heck of a race on your part here, Jim. You had one of the faster machines out there, and early on in the race you decided that, you know, starting further back in the pack and taking it easy was the way to go, and seems like it ended up paying off in the long run. Give us a rundown of your experience during the green flag runs.
I was struggling. The set was way off for me. I was tight by myself. I couldn't get near any cars. It just... we missed it big time.
Oh man, we're sorry to hear about that. And how were you able to counter that and be successful, man, with the green flag pit stops? Were you able to make any changes on pit road?
No, you really can't. Just try to stay away from people as much as possible and not get caught up in anything, and just work the pedal a little bit in the corner and try to save that right front a little bit.
Oh, most definitely, man. Well, congrats on your success here despite your difficulty most of the race tonight, and finishing in 3rd place. And that was a heck of a race once again. And man, you finished 3rd once again. And should we expect to see you 2 spots higher next week at Mid-Ohio?
Probably not. I've been struggling in this car and not too hot on road courses.
Well, buddy, it's been great seeing you grow all season long. We'll look forward to seeing you regardless next week at Mid-Ohio Motorsports Park. Go celebrate, buddy. You earned it. See you next week.
Thanks, man.
That was 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. Now, next in line is a returning driver, 98 of Noah Lewis, here in the second place spot. Get a cup there, Noah?
I'm doing pretty good tonight.
Well, man, I bet you are. It's been a heck of a race tonight and a heck of a comeback. You had your crew chief there in the chat, Chris Potter, cheering you on all race long tonight. How have you been, man, lately? It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. I've been pretty good, but I've had some computer issues that have caused me to miss a couple races. Luckily, that's all fixed, and I couldn't pick a better. Well, I could pick a win to come back, but I couldn't pick a better way to come back to finish in the top 3. That's pretty great.
Oh, indeed, man. Oh, sorry to hear about your computer issues, but we are glad that you were able to get them fixed. That's the most important thing. And coming back to a second place finish here tonight after starting in the 5th place spot and having excellent green flag pit stops in what seems to have been the most difficult part about tonight's race for you.
Catching that 75. He's fast every week, so it's really fun to race Robert, and you know you're doing pretty good when you can, you know, finish second to him. So I was really happy to, you know, get the finish tonight because there's been a lot of things going on with different races in the past. So I think it's actually my highest finish in the league. So that's pretty fun to do, but that was probably the hardest thing, was trying to catch him, and he's so good here and everywhere really that it's pretty tough.
Oh man, well, we can only imagine, man. But great job, regardless. And no, we noticed one thing, buddy. During the final pit stops of the evening, during the first ones, Robert Barras had the fastest pit time. But then during the last one, you ended up having the fastest pit time. What did you do differently to change that?
I actually didn't know that, but I just entered a little more aggressively and exited a little more aggressively, but nothing really different on the pit stop. I guess just a faster stop by the guys, but nothing really different except for my entry and exit off. The first go around, I exited in second gear and knew I should have done it in first gear to have that boost off of pit road. So I guess that would be one of the changes.
Oh, most definitely, man. Well, congrats on your success here tonight. We look forward to seeing you one spot higher next week at Mid-Ohio. And any final words before you go celebrate?
I just want to thank you guys for putting it on tonight, and thanks to my friend Chris, who's out in chat watching.
Well, that was 98 of Noah Lewis, returning driver. But next in line is the alien this season, 75 of Robert Barras, having his 10th win right here at round 11, Kentucky Speedway. Get up there, buddy.
I got you.
How you doing tonight?
I'm tuckered out. That's a bumpy track. Car was a handful. It went from tight in practice and in traffic at the beginning of the run to loose the last 2 runs towards the end, so you really had to work to keep the thing going straight and up front.
Oh man, well, despite that, it seems like you had everything pretty much in check. Give us a rundown of your race tonight, because it seemed like, you know, at one point during the first run, before the first round of green flag pit stops, you kind of fell off the pace until the first round.
Yeah, it was just a matter of, it seems to be kind of typical with the IndyCar here is the oval tracks, is you just kind of get draft locked. And so I wanted to keep my clean air if I could, but once I got shuffled out and couldn't necessarily get back up there, I just kind of wanted to ride until that first pit stop. And as long as I could keep contact with the leaders, I was good. I wanted to see how things shuffled out with that first pit stop. We were able to get a breakaway there a little bit. A couple guys had some problems, and at that point, then it was just, you know, run laps, keep the car in one piece, execute that last pit stop clean, and hope there weren't any cautions to bunch us all back up. And so at that point, it was almost kind of like a Sunday drive.
Well, congrats on your success, buddy, and also congrats on you having the fastest pit time, the fastest pit stop during the first round of green flag pit stops. Very commendable. It's been a heck of a season on your part. We talk about this almost every single week, pretty much every single week, because you're always on the podium. So congrats to that, buddy, and keep doing exactly what you're doing. You're doing the right things. We look forward to seeing you again next week at Mid-Ohio Motorsports Park. And before I let you go, any final words?
No. I'm looking forward to Mid-Ohio. That's my home track. I live about a mile away from the course. We'll have to fly up from Daytona Beach. I'm signed up to do 24-hour race part of a team, so we're going to try to make sure I can get my stints for that shuffled out so that I can break out and get up to Mid-Ohio and run that race next week, and hopefully we can get a hometown victory.
Well, congrats on your success, man, and you running both the 24 hours of Daytona and going to a totally different beast, Mid-Ohio, with the IndyCar. That's going to be quite something to adapt to. But, man, with what you've done all season long, that will be not a problem for you. So, buddy, congrats on your success tonight, and see you again next week, and have fun in 24 hours.
Thank you.
That was 75 Robert Barras for his 10th win of the season. And that rounds up interviews. Robert Barras, first place. Noah Lewis, second. And Jim Whaley Jr. in that third place position. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in tonight for the Roaring Thunder Indy Kentucky 150. That's the Roaring Thunder Indy Kentucky 150, round 11 of 16 at Kentucky Speedway. Well, the next race is next week, the Roaring Thunder Racing League Indy Mid-Ohio Grand Prix. That's the Roaring Thunder Racing League Indy Mid-Ohio Grand Prix at Mid-Ohio Motorsports Park. So be sure to be there. And also next week we have the 24 Hours of Daytona going on iRacing. So I'm going to be seeing a lot of drivers missing as a result, pretty much all weekend long. But congrats on the driver's success, and thank you very much for tuning in tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And Dave, any thoughts?
Yeah, it was a good race. Can't wait to see Mid-Ohio. These drivers put a good show on week in, week out, and I just look forward to it.
And going over the top 10 of the whole entire field, ladies and gentlemen, here before we close off, Robert Barras winning tonight's race, Noah Lewis second, Jim Whaley third, Jim Whaley Jr. third, Ronald Vincent fourth, Kyle Nadu fifth, Charles Smith sixth, Mark McFadden seventh, Jeremy Horn eighth, Mark Kochik 9th, Jeff Dotson 10th, and Paul Cohen 11th, rounding up the whole entire field. I am Sean Zulu, and David Everly behind the cameras. Thank you for watching. The next broadcast is tomorrow night, round 5, the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series at Bristol Motor Speedway. That's the B Cars at Bristol tomorrow night. Well, thanks very much for tuning in here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night, and see you again next broadcast.